Easter Sunday. Beautiful day to go for a ride. Morena whānau. Hi people. This is Pukekawa. I call this place Blood Hill because it has, well, sadly to say, a very bloody past. Pukekawa is the oldest volcano in New Zealand, apparently. So this area of New Zealand is very, very old. It's about 40 minutes away from Auckland Central. King Pharaoh used to live on this mountain back in the 19th century. It was the headquarters for the Waikato tribe. From this mountain they attacked British troops that had begun advancing down the Waikato River. They attacked a military outpost which was called Port Jackson, right there at the headwaters of the Waikato near Pukekohe. There was in actual fact a Victoria Cross and a couple of other medals handed out by the British Army because the fighting, which was hand to hand, was extremely fierce and bloody. And on this mountain a small contingent of British troops attacked the headquarters of King Pharaoh and were all wiped out. In the 1930s there was a double homicide and another double homicide in the 1970s. So the hill deserves its reputation of being called Blood Hill. It has a significant past, and perhaps this area could be seen as having a aura of sadness around it. Some of the bodies ended up in the Waikato River, which we can see as we are passing now, winding away into the distance. It's a beautiful view looking down from these hills. Pukekawa, possibly one of the oldest parts of New Zealand. Certainly a place to visit. And a short way away is the coast, where the mighty Waikato River runs into the sea. There are fossils at the end of the beach, which go back to the Jurassic Age. And if you head further south from Port Waikato, you come into a place which I call the Lost World, which was or is filled with limestone caves and strange looking structures which have been carved out of the cliffs by centuries of wind and water. Some of these faces look so lifelike that you'd have to think, did somebody carve them? Certainly it's the oldest area of New Zealand. The Maoris stayed mostly on the east coast, and the west coast of New Zealand was not populated till much later. According to the legends, the giants lived in this part of New Zealand. Further down the road they found some coffins at Waikato, and inside the coffins were 7-foot persons buried in the fetal position and incarcerated in kauri gum. And these skeletons or bodies had red hair. So the coffins were quickly taken away, and where they are today nobody knows. But I have seen a picture of similar coffins found down in Wanganui. And these were reported in the 1960s. So they were definitely real. And the man who reported the find of the coffins has sadly passed away. So I hope you enjoy this little episode on the Blood Hill of Pukekawa and the Waikato River with its somewhat dark and mysterious past.